We have to talk about Amorim. Ruben Amorim. He was the coach of Sporting. I'm saying was because he's going to be the manager of Manchester United after the international break. I mean, this Monday, probably. Because he got the offer from United and he wanted to stay until the end of the season and then join United. But United says it's now or never. And at the end, he had to choose United because even though Sporting was going really, really good, United was his dream job and he didn't want to miss out. In the end, they made a deal starting from 11th of November. In the international break, he will meet the players and start training with Manchester United. If you give me a thumbs up, let's begin with Amorim and what he can do in Manchester United. First of all, Ruben Amorim has a really interesting career. When he was playing football, he was an international in Portugal and also he played in Benfica most of his career. So we can say that he's not a Benfica legend, of course, but he was a Benfica lover. But when he started his career as a manager, first he got the Braga second team managerial position, and then in just 3 months he was appointed for the Braga's first team. In just 2 months he won the Portuguese League Cup, and then he was appointed from Sporting, which is one of the biggest rivals of Benfica, his beloved club. In Sporting, it was the COVID times when he first started the job. In his first full season, he got the championship after 19 years for Sporting, which was huge because, you know, Porto and Benfica was the first and second big team, and then Sporting comes as the third biggest team. He really got that championship very fast. And he got some other cups. Last year he won the second league. While he was getting these championships and trophies, he was also playing in Champions League, European tournaments. And the play he showed us was great because he was playing 3-4-3 with 3 central backs behind. He's not transforming any right backs, full backs, or any defensive midfield to center backs, as we've seen from the other 3 center backs tactics. And he is using full wing backs really good. At the end, he also finds some crazy striker who is Gyökeres. He's just scoring almost every match or assisting every match. But for me, if you ever played Football Manager and if you are offered a job while you are performing really good in Sporting or any other good team, when you are offered a top job, you have to think about it twice. Maybe I would stay for the season and then want to go to the bigger team at the end of the season. And Amorim's plan was that before starting this season, he informed the club that he want to leave the club at the end of the season, and it will be his final masterpiece in Sporting this season because he started 10 out of 10 wins in the league. He won 2 cup games for different cups, 1 League Cup and there's the Portugal Cup. He started in the Champions League with 3 wins and 1 draw, and one of the wins was against Manchester City, last home game for him. It was full of theater, masterpiece. It was so good. I think it was one of the best goodbyes I've seen in football because it's against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, even though they have some missing players because of injury. The way all the players hugged him, celebrated with him, it was really emotional for me. And in the end, his team was performing really good. He's now second in the Champions League when I'm recording it. Would I be leaving if I was Amorim? Maybe the wage is too high for Manchester United. Of course, you have to think about it because it's a top job. You want to win the Premier League or you want to at least fight for the Premiership. Yeah, you have to move at the end. But what he will find in Manchester United is also a bit difficult because what Erik ten Hag left behind, there are many injuries, a squad with no faith. Also, there are too many egos that he has to manage this time because in Sporting they were buying some young talents. He's really good with communication with the players. Also, he's really good with developing young players. But in United, of course, there are some young players that he can still develop. But in this case, he has to manage some egos too, because there's Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, I don't know, Matthias de Ligt, Onana is a crazy person to handle. He has to be better in communication than he was in Sporting. And the way he will play with Manchester United, probably it will be 3-4-3 again, but I'm not sure he has the right personnel to fill the tactics. He has the 3 center backs with Lisandro Martinez, Yoro and De Ligt, but probably he will have 1 more center backs transferred into Manchester United. And then in the center, I think he will play with Ugarte and probably Kawhi. Then we have to move Bruno Fernandes in the front 3, and one of the other front 3 might be Rashford, but I'm not sure if Rashford is the right fit for the front 3. There should be also Garnacho to consider. Anthony, I don't know what he will do with Anthony, but also he has to find some full wing backs. And in the full wing backs side, we have the Dalot and Mazraoui. I don't think Luke Shaw can handle this wing back position, but if you play with Mazraoui and Dalot, maybe it would be a bit defensive, I don't know, because he usually as I said in the earlier, picks 3 center backs and then attacking wing backs. So if he wants to get the goal contribution from the wingback side, he might change Garnacho or, I don't know, Amad Diallo to a wingback, and it will be funny to watch. I don't know how it will happen at the end. In the short term, he was very successful in Sporting and Braga. I don't think he can succeed in the short term in Manchester United very fast. He will need at least 3 transfer seasons, I think, to change the squad in a way that he wants to play. I think he has to get some credit until the winter break to have the first transfers. He has to get rid of some players and see the squad until that moment, and then maybe 2 or 3 transfers can come in, and then we will see how he can perform. But now is the lowest point of Manchester United in Premier League history, so he's a bit lucky with that. He can build it up from the zero. Let's see if he is going to be the hero. I'm excited to see such a person in the Premier League. What you guys are thinking, please comment below, and please subscribe. I just started this channel, and excuse my English for the first few videos.